John Eso here, speech 2. Here goes my index cards.
It didn't get you.
It did? There you go. Okay. There goes my audience. How you doing? Okay.
Oh.
All right. Okay. How's everybody doing today?
Doing good, doing good.
All right. You guys doing good? Weather's good today? Okay. So, Johnny, so I'm going to give you guys another speech again, of course. Don't get too tired with me yet. Have any of you guys ever given a speech?
Yes.
Yes, you have? Okay. Sometimes nervous, sometimes stuff like that. All right, well, let's say you were given a task to give a speech, right? And you want to do really well on the speech, because the speech offers your credibility, right? You know, what would you do, right? Well, we want to help you with that, right? There are 4 different styles to giving a speech, okay? There's, I'm going to go through them individually, and then you pick out which one you feel comfortable with the next time you're going to give a speech, okay? The first style of speech that's talked about, no, none of them never in order, but it's a manuscript. And a manuscript is usually it's a written document, carefully written, went over, and you pretty much read from it. And it's usually when you see people on TV holding their head down, reading straight from a manuscript. It's good, it gets the point across. However, you know, it lacks, you could lose the audience. The audience could get bored. You don't have much interaction or eye contact with the audience. Usually you sound, it has to be practiced a lot in order for you not to sound like a puppet or something like that. Manuscripts are usually, probably the only appropriate good times for manuscripts are presidential speeches, the way he's addressing the nation, or like religious speeches like the Pope or something like that, giving speeches to a wide range of people. Because you got to make sure these speeches are accurate, they don't offend nobody, and they usually have other people going through them before they give them. The next kind of speech is called an impromptu speech, which is my favorite kind of speech. It's called winging. So, say you come in, somebody says, "Hey, Mr. Kelly, you got to give a speech," and you say, "Huh?" And you have really limited time to study, gather resources, you know, good sources and stuff like that, and your work won't be as quality. The only good thing about impromptu speeches is that if you've given this speech 1,000 times over and they want you to give a speech, then you already have pretty much everything in line of what you're going to say. You know how it's going to come out, you know how the speech is going to go and everything. The next kind of speech is the speech where you're reciting from memory, which is what I'm doing right now. So, when you recite from memory, right, basically it's the same thing like a manuscript. It's written out carefully, everything is, you know, done in orderly fashion. But reciting from memory is just you not reading. The good part about that is, you know, you got a pretty good memory, you seem more confident in your speech, you know, but the downfall to that is that you have to go in a specific order. And if you interact with the audience or you get thrown off or sidetracked, you can pretty much forget where you're at, you know, which is not really good when giving long speeches. When you're giving short speeches, it's pretty simple. And the final speech is the extemporaneously. Oh, excuse me. Read that over. Extemporaneously. And an extemporaneously speech is the same thing as impromptu, winging it. However, you have more time to gather information and materials to actually do the speech. So it's basically a speech just study. You know, like winging it is just, hey, you got to give a speech. You know, somebody tells you in 2 weeks you got to give a speech, then you're going to focus all your concentration on 2 weeks. You have all of that time to gather resources, go places, visit people just to give that speech. Okay, majority of the speeches given are extant. You know, because it gives you more control over interacting with the crowd and then getting back on your key points. And usually people who give those speeches, they use like trigger words. Like they'll have a word that'll give them an idea to stay on track of what they need to talk about. They'll focus on the key points. So, I'm Johnny, so I just gave you 4 methods of speech. Hopefully you use the ones you feel that are the best. Are there any questions? All right, hopefully I press record this time. Yes, I did.